Be daring, be different, be impractical. Imagine a life based off of those three principles. Yes, principles. While not his original sentiment, author and blogger Chris Guillebeau has. He has chosen to live a remarkable life and is generous enough to share his experiences and life lessons with the masses. We were lucky enough to catch up with Chris on his recent book tour, where he was promoting his new book, The Art of Non-Conformity.
All of you guys are awesome, so glad you're here. Thanks for having me out. This is stop number 49 of the Unconventional Book Tour, and it's been so much fun. It's been fantastic. It's been rewarding. I'm so glad I did it, and I'm so happy to be here. We're talking about The Art of Non-Conformity, which was originally a blog, and now it's a book, and also a business and a community. So just talking about different ways of living life differently. In the face of relentless pressure to conform and pressure to avoid risks, how do we craft the life of our dreams? So in the beginning, my goal was to create convergence. I had been an entrepreneur, been self-employed for about 10 years. I volunteered overseas in Africa for about 4 years. And I had this travel thing where I was trying to visit every country in the world. So all these things were kind of interesting in different ways, but I had no theme. The project was really not very strategic in the beginning. It was very organic. So most of the growth that's happened has been just in response to all of the people. You know, I started with the classic blogging strategy of making shit up. I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with that strategy, but that was mine. And fortunately, a number of great people came along and participated and engaged and contributed, you know, and made the project so much better. You know, definitely I had an interesting childhood in the sense that some of it was kind of unhealthy, but other parts of it were really good. I had a great dad, and my dad really encouraged independent thinking. And my dad used to buy me a lot of books, and whatever I wanted to read, my dad would buy for me. And I didn't realize how unusual that was until later. I thought everybody's dad bought them books, and I ended up dropping out of high school. So I went to 1 year of high school, and I ended up going to college right after that, which turned out to be pretty good. And then I found kind of a creative way to go through college. I wrote about it in the book, of doing it in just a little bit over 2 years. And then probably, you know, living in Africa, living overseas for 4 years was a huge, you know, transformative experience for me, and helped me think about like how I see the world. So when I talk a lot about contribution now, I think that's the inspiration for that, just realizing that not everyone can talk about, you know, how they'd like to spend their time and what kind of work they'd like to do. To be able to talk about life and work in this way is really unique, and it's really remarkable, and it's great and it's fantastic, but it's also pretty unusual. And it's fairly privileged, you know, to have a conversation about, you know, what kind of work we would like to do, and how we would like to spend our time, and what blogs we read. And so I think something that's missing, you know, from this whole conversation, this space about life and work, is this question of contribution. The question of not just what can we consume, but what can we contribute. That's why I say that the two most important questions in the universe are, number one, what do you really want to get out of life? Because I think a lot of people don't know what they want and what they're working for. And then number two, what can you offer the world that no one else can? So I felt like I had helped people a little bit on an individual basis through different business projects and then through working overseas, but I had no means of reaching a lot of people. And so, you know, in the beginning, my motivation was, let's establish some kind of platform, and let's see what message we have and see who's interested in it. And when we talk about things like nonconformity, when we talk about change or unconventional living, it's good to say that these are not things for everyone. So I get a lot of emails, and from time to time someone will write in and say, I have a very traditional life, what do you have against me? And it gives me a great opportunity to say I have nothing against you, and that's great. You know, I wish you well, I'm glad you're happy. And there are a number of people who are dissatisfied, you know, who want to do something different, who do kind of want to step back from the bridge, who do want to pursue a different path. And so, you know, I say, you know, the message of Art of Nonconformity in many ways is fundamentally for the discontented. It's for those of us, you know, who do want something different, who do want to kind of, you know, maybe make our own path or choose the road not taken. The most surprising thing has definitely been the community involvement and how excited other people have been about it. So I'm a natural introvert, and I've always been a shy person, and now I have this really big community of people, and it feels completely natural. It's almost like the opposite of meeting strangers or going to like a networking event where you don't know people and you're intimidated, at least I would be. But in this situation, we are like-minded, which is not to say we agree on everything, but we have, you know, common ideals and a worldview. the primary motivation is what I call the small army of remarkable people. So it is, you know, everyone who comes out to these gigs and everyone who reads the site and they send in nice emails and I hear stories about what they're doing. What I think it all comes down to is the question of what will our legacy be? What kind of legacy are we trying to build? What kind of story do we hope to share with our lives? And what will the ultimate impact of our lives be? And I just think, okay, you know, what can we do? What can we do to support them? What can we do to hopefully provide some kind of inspiration, but not just inspiration, also like practical help, you know, for people who are trying to do something different, whether that's in business or in travel or in something completely different. You know, the one sentence description of why I wrote the book is to bring the childhood message up to adulthood application and say, you don't have to live your life the way other people expect you to. And you can do good things for yourself and for others at the same time. It's not a false choice. It's not a dichotomy. And here are the stories of a number of people who've done that in different ways. Second of all, I'm like, okay, where are we going from here? Because these are really awesome people and they've got great stories. They're doing really fun stuff. And the alternative to pursuing efficiency is to pursue adventure, to pursue meaningful adventure. So things like, you know, in my case, trying to visit every country in the world. If you read the blog, you know it's a highly inefficient quest. It's not something that's very productive or optimal. I spend a lot of time and money and energy, you know, trying to sort out my plane tickets and visas and logistics and sleeping on the floor of the airport and getting kicked out of various countries, you know, et cetera. And so in many ways, my life would be a lot easier if I just didn't do that, if I just stayed at home in Portland, Oregon, or maybe I traveled in the States or whatever. But I don't do it because it's efficient. You know, I do it because it's meaningful to me. After the book tour, then I can start traveling internationally more, which I've kind of missed during this time. So I've got a lot of countries to go to next year. I'm hosting the World Domination Summit. So I'm hoping to write another book, and just going to keep doing this and see where it goes. I'm so excited about it. We have to think about how we can pursue a big dream and do what we really want, but also, you know, hopefully make the world a better place.